we're back with another episode of the Palace Podcast. I am your co-host, Danny Galarno.
And I am Ricky Liordi. And Danny, why don't you tell the audience who we had on the pod today?
We had Chris Ramos on. And he is a producer, DJ. He's been kind of out of the mix for the past couple of years, but he's back. He just released an album.
Evolution?
Yeah, Evolution. And it was a lot of fun. Like, you knew him. I don't know him at all. So it was, like, nice to meet him today. But I just feel like his story is great, and it was just really reflective of himself and of what's coming next for him in his music career. But I said this in the episode, like, you really saw that twinkle in his eye and the passion he has for music and for the industry, and can't take that for granted sometimes.
Danny, you said that very well. I don't even really want to add much to that because you said that very well.
Thanks.
But yeah, Chris, I've known him for a long time. Chris, thank you for being a pal, man. You are a great person, and I really felt your passion, and it made me so happy to just connect with you again after all these years. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you being a pal. And for those listening, like, really go support. Go check out the album.
I'm like really excited to go see like one of his first shows. Like, I just feel like it gets one of those things that you'd watch and you'd be like, holy shit, like.
Yeah, fuck yeah. You'll feel it.
Yeah, you'll like feel everything. And again, like, I don't even know. Maybe back in the day I've seen him perform without even realizing when I was young.
Maybe.
But it's like now it's like going like and knowing his story, knowing who he is after meeting him. I feel like I'd sit there and it'd be like, holy fuck, like, let's fucking go.
And on that note, let's fucking go.
Woo! No, so we were having issues at first, which I actually had gone to a producer friend of mine being like, we don't know how to use audio and fix our audio because we didn't understand. We thought the right left was the volume, not both sides, because we had like our intro song and our intro song's so much louder than our actual recording audio.
Oh yeah.
So I thought that was like a actual song issue, but it's an us issue.
But you guys balanced it out afterwards.
We figured out like some sort of a balance now, but
yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about here.
The loud, like our intro song.
Yeah.
I asked my friend to help see how we could bring it down, and he was trying to tell me.
Lower it, the sound.
Well, we've done that now, but we were trying to find a way because we thought. Remember when we thought it was because of the two things? That's actually just right and left, both your ears.
What we just do is like I just bring the volume down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you have to do. But we were just stupid in our questions to begin with. But there's no stupid questions.
It's just early days, just figuring things out.
Yeah, but it's even not even
early days.
We're not even early days.
Oh, now not early days. I'm saying just like.
But like we're just still learning throughout the process, and it's always a learning curve.
Do you know what the problem was? Is like none of us ever like. George used to handle all of like the production side, but even him, he just learned from YouTube. It's not like he was like he went to school for this or he had any like proper knowledge. Like he DJ'd a little bit here and there. You know George, obviously, yeah. So he used to take care of this, and then when he stopped doing it,
he taught me.
Yeah.
I just did whatever he said to do. So then I kind of went off of that.
Lot of our it's not overly produced, our podcast. The idea is like, hey, we're just friends meeting new pals, having good conversations, and
just hanging out,
whatever. But recently we were talking about it, and like maybe even when we get back from Europe, we said like maybe we'll like actually dive more into it and like really put more emphasis on the production behind it, because that's what you need to get to the next level. You need to like, I don't want to say put the time and energy because we are, but the production level needs to be higher. And then like I guess that kind of leads us into like you and what you're doing. Yeah. If you don't have the production and like the actual science behind it, it's never gonna work, right? Like there's so many basement DJs now, and like people that just got like a turntable for Christmas and they're like, oh, I'm a DJ. It's like, okay, well, like technically you are, but you're never gonna make it unless you like learn how to produce and you learn how to produce properly. There's
a lot of people out there who they are trying to fake it till they make it, and they might have a producer making stuff for them and whatnot. I've been the ghost producer for people in the past, so I know exactly how it goes. But if you don't dive in and learn, you're never going to step up to that next level.
How'd you start? I don't even think I ever knew this, because like for those listening, me and Chris have been friends for probably 15 years now, maybe more.
Probably more, to be honest.
Honestly, like the Glen Hill days on like Calero's house and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But how'd you start?
I mean, where do I begin? That's
The
a good
beginning.
question.
He's like,
Okay.
my mom bought me a little thing for Christmas.
I mean, that's kind of how it's okay. So, I was a baby, like 3-4 years old. I would play on like the little keyboard that was in our little apartment, and my parents were like, "Okay, he's like playing some stuff that's on the TV. Let's put him in lessons." So from there, got into lessons, and then I was maybe 13 years old. My parents got me this synthesizer, not knowing that it had like a built-in sequencer. And then from there, I started recording ideas and yeah, like loops, songs, writing lyrics. And then when I was 16, I got my first record deal.
That's actually
Yeah.
crazy. I
Wait,
think
you were
when
16?
I was 16. Yeah.
That's so young.
It was wild. Like I remember being in high school and having to like get an entertainment lawyer, having to learn music law, all of this stuff at 16 so I can like understand what the hell I'm signing. Yeah. It was pretty wild.
When we were kids, because you remember, like, back in the day, the radio was like the end all. Like, that was like there was no YouTube Music, Apple, Spotify. Like, none of that existed.
Mhm.
Like, it was you either had a tape, a CD, like a record player, or you listened to the radio. That was it. And like much music was massive back then.
It was huge back then.
Like, so when Chris, we're in high school, we're like still in our parents' cars. We're not even driving yet.
Oh yeah.
And Chris has a song on the radio. We're just like, we'd all like with like our old flip phones, like be texting each other, yo, like, you got to press the button like 3 times to get T or something.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
to get the R's like press it 3 times. I'd be like, yo, Chris's songs on the radio. There's no group text back then, no BBM. This is before BBM.
Yeah.
That's how long ago it was.
It was a while ago. And
it was the coolest thing ever.
it was so cool. I remember the first time I heard my name on the radio. It was like so surreal driving on Yonge Street, and I almost crashed my car because I was so excited. And you were texting me at the same time, so I was like trying to manage it all. It was wild.
It's like Tiesto, Chris Ramos. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah,
I'm
I was even on the Z103 CD that they used to do, the Summer Rush CD.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So I remember even going into like HMV and like getting a copy of the CD.
Oh my god, I forgot about HMV.
man, that's how long ago.
That's
this
how long
is.
ago
I
this
forgot
is.
about that for a second.
Your sister's gonna listen to this episode and be like, "What's HMV?"
Well, so it's funny. We were at the cottage last week and we were watching a DVD. Like that's even like.
Okay, well, like we're like, come on, DVDs are still like I watch DVDs still.
Yes, again, but the next generation doesn't because there's Netflix, Crave, all these other things you can access to movies no matter when, whatever.
Nobody's
you want.
dealing with physical copies.
No, so we're at the
anymore.
cottage and we're like,
Yeah.
we have VHS and DVD, and we're
Yeah.
like, okay, let's put a DVD on. And she turns to me and my cousin. She goes, "Well, I actually don't know how." I'm like, are you
Yeah,
fucking kidding me right
that's
now?
where
So we
we're at
literally
now.
made her go up there, and like our converter wasn't working. It's so old, broken,
Ugh.
and we're like, try to press play. What do you do?
She's like, I can't talk to this. I can't just press the audio.
No,
button.
no. She literally sat there and first went to the VHS, and then we're like, wrong one completely.
Mhm.
Then went to the DVD player, and then she figured out how to press the play, and then how you have to keep pressing play to skip through the ads at the beginning.
Oh,
like it was like
man.
old.
You, it's funny because you remember like back in the day we had the tape players and then the MP3 players and then CDs, and then remember when the CDs came out with like the no skip
Yeah.
CD players,
Yeah.
and then jeans, the back pockets were perfect size just for the CD player.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, back in the day. Okay, so then you started, you got your record label or sorry, your record deal at like 16.
Yeah. At 16. Then I'm like I started DJing all ages events. I started learning to DJ and then started doing those little events. And then I'd say when I was like early 20s is when I released that song that hit on the radio, and it was such a surreal experience. DJ Danny D did a remix, and like that was playing all over as well. What else? I even when I went to college, I had read all the music textbooks before. So like during high school,
Wait, what'd you go to college for?
music production and sound engineering.
Okay.
Yeah,
Where-
I already
where-
knew what I wanted to do, so
Yeah.
I might as well do that.
You know what's so funny? I feel like you took the complete opposite approach that everybody else takes. Most people become DJs and then start producing.
Yeah, I was
Whereas
producing
you
before.
were producing and then you figured out how to DJ.
Yeah,
Because I feel like nowadays, again, like I said earlier, everyone's just like, oh, like DJing looks cool. Like I'm gonna DJ.
it's
And
the
then
cool
like-
thing to do.
Yeah,
Everybody
it's
wants
fun,
to be a DJ nowadays.
And then you start producing because you DJ and that's like you want to play your own songs. But you did it the other way. I guess not the There's no proper way, but you did it.
The artistic
Yeah,
way.
the artistic way.
Yeah, I mean, being musically inclined since I was a baby, I guess it just came naturally. Like I literally say to everybody, music is my life, right?
So do you like like the back end producing it more, or do you like playing like live for people?
That's a very good question.
Like once you did that switch too more into like doing your own stuff, like did you like in front of the crowds, everything, or?
I really loved the live part of it. The only thing I didn't like was it provoking my anxiety. And it like really would make me anxious leading up to an event. And then the moment I hit play, everything went away. It was just me, the music, and the crowd. But yeah, I didn't really have like a full grip on my anxiety back then. And like mental health back in the day, nobody was really talking about it. No. Right? And my parents definitely didn't understand any of it. That's for sure.
You're fucking Portuguese.
I'm Portuguese, exactly.
They don't what, mental health? What?
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 No.
Go outside.
Yeah, take a breather. You're okay. Ride your bike.
Yeah, so what do you think it was about like playing shows that gave you the anxiety? Was it just knowing that you're going to be up there in front of people? Or was it more just the stress of what if people don't like the show? They don't like what do you think it was?
I think it was the fear of fear. It was like the cycle of it all and second guessing myself and putting too much pressure onto myself. So I would just, I have to be the best. I have to do the best. And so from there, is everybody going to see the fear that's in my eyes? And then you start thinking about things and spiraling out of control. And I really didn't know what was going on at the time. So that's kind of why I had to take a break.
Especially when you're young, right? Like when you're in your 30s, it's a little bit different. You know, now we've got the tools, we have resources, and we're a little bit older, we're more mature, and we learn from our experiences and from our shortcomings.
Yeah.
When you're fucking in your late teens, early 20s, you don't know fuck all.
You don't know shit.
You're just like, why do I
think
feel
you
like
know
this?
everything, but
you think you do.
You think you do, but then you realize you really don't after.
Yeah. And like, I didn't have any anxiety. I didn't have any issues in my late teens, early 20s, and like, thank God I didn't, because fuck, like, I struggled when I was in my like late 20s. Yeah. It's like, fuck, imagine being a kid. Imagine being in the teens. And okay, again, now the world's evolved a little bit, and we understand a little bit more about the mind and mental health, but back then we didn't. Like, this is again 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And but even like the more you even like say now, it's like we know more about it, where it's more talked about, but it's still, I feel like, a work in progress for everyone.
Oh yeah.
Learning how, like, especially if you're getting these like kind of feelings at a later age and not knowing how to like cope mechanisms, whereas there's a lot of kids now that are learning them in like when they're 8 years old, which is just wild. But
just not realizing what's going on.
Yeah. And the tricky part is, and maybe you guys can provide insight onto this, who agree or disagree. When it comes to like losing weight, you know, you got to burn more calories than you consume. You got to work harder than you were yesterday. Okay. If you're doing this, if you want to lose weight, you got to do a little bit more. If you want to go to law school, you know, you need to study this book and you need to learn these questions. You need to do this. There's a clear-cut guide. There's a guide on so many things. Yeah. It's like being successful. Okay, there's no clear-cut guide on that, but again, you can follow in other people's footsteps. Mm-hmm. When it comes to mental health, there's no proper guide. It's not like, oh, this is what Ricky did. He overcame it. I'm going to do exactly what he did, and that's going to work, because
it might not work for the next person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the toughest part, because you hear so many stories where it's like, okay, well, he did this and he figured it out and he got through this, or she did this, she made it through, and look how good she's doing. I'm going to do exactly what she did. Yeah. Well, I did what she did. Now I didn't. Why didn't I get there? Like, what the fuck? Yeah. And then anyone who's ever suffered from anxiety knows that when you get in that headspace, you're like, fuck, I did this. I should have been there. I'm not there. Oh, I suck. I'm the worst. Life's just terrible. I'm going to fucking die. Like, yeah, it spirals quickly.
It spirals quickly. And then you think everything's going to end, you know, it gets dark sometimes, you know?
How did you get to that point where you realized, because you said you had to take a break?
Yeah.
Like, how did you get to that point where like, hey, like, I need to take the break now? Like, how did you get deciding that?
I think I had no choice. You know, it got to that point where I was feeling so stressed, and being in the music industry, it's already really difficult as it is. And I was, you know, things were moving really well. I had club residencies here. I was playing at the Hoxton all the time. Records coming out, which now have like millions of streams. But at the time, you know, even though things are going great, there's a lot of pressure you put on yourself, and it just spirals and spirals. So yeah, I got to the point where I was just feeling too much pressure. Decided I'm going to take a step back, develop myself, work on me, and get myself into a good, healthy place.
Yeah. How'd you decide now that we're going to get to the new album.
Yeah.
How'd you decide I'm at a good spot, now I'm ready to come back out? Because again, there's no clear cut start line, end line, finish line.
But it's also, there's no like, oh, I'm better now. It's always a work in progress.
Always a work in progress. I still get anxiety here and there. Absolutely. I feel one of the biggest things that helped me was actually getting diagnosed with ADHD.
Okay.
And it turns out that the ADHD was what was provoking my anxiety, which is really interesting.
Really?
Yeah, because imagine like ADHD, it's like all the information all at once, you know, like having this conversation, not thinking about the lights and all the little details that are happening around the sounds. There was always a overload of information for me. So once I got diagnosed, I actually started taking medication for it. Everything changed.
Sorry, do you mind me asking, what age did you get diagnosed?
Like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, my cousin's in her 30s and got diagnosed within the past year and a half. And again, she said the exact same thing that you said when you were talking to her about it. She goes, it just made like more sense. Everything in my life that happened prior to now makes more sense now. And she's like just like had like such like a leveled out feeling. Like she's like obviously still working on it and like like trying to like learn more about it and like
it's not like it goes away.
No, but it's like she got more clarity on her past from getting the diagnosis.
And then realizing like, oh, my family definitely has a little bit of it too. And like just starting to realize like all the connections.
It's so funny. My dad has it like 100 million%. Like there's not a shadow of a doubt in my mind that he doesn't have, like he's got it for sure. Yeah. And he refuses to go like get checked. He's like, I've come this long. It's like,
okay, but he also is at that like.
Yeah, but at my point, it's like
different generation too.
Yeah, different. That's the biggest thing. It's a different generation. In my mind, I'm like, hey, Frank, you're almost 70. Like, you probably got another 20 years left. Like, don't you want to make the most out of those 20 years?
Yeah, but he's happy with the way his life is now. Mm-hmm. Just because you're not happy with some of the things he does or says doesn't mean he's not happy with the way he is.
See, but I think he'll always be like, and Dad, I love you, by the way. He'll always be like, oh, there's not enough hours in the day. It's like, yeah, because you fucking procrastinate on the important things and you waste time on the stupid little things. Like
story of my life.
The other day,
procrastination is real.
The other day, so my dad, I work for my family business, right? So my dad's one of the two bosses. My dad and my uncle are the two bosses. Yeah. The other day, someone, my aunt comes out to me. She's like, you see what your dad's doing downstairs? I said, no, what's he doing? He's assembling a desk. I said, what? She's like, he's assembling a desk in the hallway. So I walk downstairs. I see this desk half assembled in the hallway. And I walk away and I see my dad walking back. I'm like, what's up? He's like, oh, no, just doing this, assembling this desk. I'm like, for what? He's like, well, I saw it here, so I just figured to put it together.
Yeah, that's literally.
You got nothing. I looked at him like, Dad, you got nothing better to do right now than assemble a desk. You are one of two people in this company that can only do what one of two people do. You are literally the top of the totem pole. There's nothing else you got to do. There's nothing more important than this desk. Well, I just saw it here. I wanted to put my papers on it. No, because I said, like, why are you even assembling it? Well, I wanted to put my papers on it.
You know what it is? There's a dopamine rush that we get with doing side quests. That's literally how it goes. Okay? So
Frank
you see
is the king of side
quest. You see a side quest like that. It's like you're on your way to go do the main important thing. And then on the way, you see this little desk that needs to be assembled. And you're like, oh, that looks like a thing to do, And then like squirrel, you just go and
I saw him. I was like, Dad, please put the desk. Stop. Go focus on something. I will have this. Somebody will assemble this desk in 30 minutes or less. Don't worry. Go. Yeah. Take off. I go.
Do the important things.
Go do the shit that only you can do, man. There's only two of you in this company. There's a bunch of me's. There's a bunch of everybody else's. There's only two of you. Go do the shit that only you can do. Yeah. Like go do the important shit that actually needs your attention. It's like, fuck, Frank, I love
the ADHD is real.
I want to ask you something, sticking on the kind of anxiety stuff. Do you think that the like late, long hours and the late hours of the day, do you think that played any, like, it's not a 9-to-5 job. It's not like you're, hey, I'm going to wake up at 9 o'clock, I'm going to have my coffee, I'm going to go to the studio, I'm going to make some hits. It's like, no, you're probably working 9 to 5 p.m. to a.m. or something, right? Like
sometimes.
A lot of, right? So do you think that played any role in it?
It definitely did. Yeah, having the what's the word? What's the phrase? Just like having irregular hours
and not going to life.
Yeah, the lack of structure, I think, definitely didn't help.
Because it's got to be tough.
Yeah,
like all your friends are, maybe not all, but a lot of your friends are going to normal day jobs.
Or most people. Yeah. It's even affected the dating life, for example. Having an ex-girlfriend who is working the 9 to 5. And I'm here, working on music late and, not having the same hours. It's
like
not
you go to
easy.
the studio at 1, not leave till 1 a.m.
And sometimes you can't
Or-
stop when inspiration hits.
Yeah.
Right? I've had moments where I woke up in the middle of the night and I have an idea and I'm like, I got to get this down before I go back to sleep. And I run to the studio and I'm there like putting it down really quickly. And then, all right, got to go back to bed. Because like when inspiration hits, it hits, you know?
That's fucked.
It's wild. Yeah. It's
And then
definitely
we talk
not
about,
the
like, ADHD,
easiest to manage.
We talk about like fucking anxiety. Like you're probably going back to bed at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. thinking, oh, well, okay, I got it done. Thinking, okay, but did I get everything done? Did I make sure I get it done properly? Is there something
Oh,
I'm
the
missing?
to-do list. Like I got to try not to think about it because I'm not just a producer. I'm the sound engineer, the mastering engineer. I'm designing all my stuff right now. You know, I'm the one man,
You're wearing many
team.
hats.
Yeah, I'm wearing a lot of hats right now. Definitely hoping to like expand the team, throughout the year. That's going to be awesome. But until that happens, I just got to, keep on pushing forward, right?
What? Let's talk about the new album.
Yeah.
Tell us about, because obviously you just released it. You got a lot of songs that came out with it. Very exciting stuff. Like, tell us about the inspo behind it, where it came from, how it came together.
So the whole thing, it's called Evolution, and it's about my personal evolution that I took over these last 8 years that I took a break from the limelight. In that time, I started my record label. I worked on music for like some of the biggest brands out there. It was actually really cool. Like even Red Lobster, I made music for. It was hilarious. Yeah.
Wait, how the fuck? Sorry, we'll get on.
I'll get to that.
We'll get to the side quest of Red Lobster.
Yeah,
after.
ADHD.
We need to talk about that.
So like in that journey, like doing those types of commercial projects, it pushed me to make stuff that I otherwise wouldn't have made. So it expanded my palette, my musical palette. And obviously life experiences happened too. So, over the last few years, I was inspired to make certain songs. And then I started having this whole list of, it was almost 20 songs that I had. So I was like, you know what, rather than doing the one track a month like every other electronic artist does, I'm going to put out an album. Why not do something a little bit different? Not every electronic artist is doing that nowadays. And I think more DJs are starting to recognize that and want to put out albums. I think it's a great thing to do. So yeah, personal evolution, went through so much in the past few years, even some trauma. So I put all of that into these songs, 13 tracks.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's nice that like what's the feeling when you get to release that, like an album like that with all this emotion, especially after such a like long time away from it? Like it's
The
gotta be
relief
like a fucking
was incredible. Danny Doucette, one of the singers that I work with, she's on 2 of the tracks. She was listening to the album the day it came out and was texting me that like, I'm so proud of you. This is such a great body of work. And I was like, stop, you're going to make me tear up over here. And she said, I already am, and FaceTimed me. And then we were both crying on this FaceTime call, just like happy that we finally got this body of work out, because it was a lot of work to put it together. And I did it pretty much myself. So yeah, it was a lot.
Man, I'm so fucking happy for you.
Thank you, man.
It's just like a nice full circle moment too.
It really is. That's why I called it evolution, because it was just like this whole evolution that I went through. And I had to take the step back to take these steps forward.
See, a lot of people wouldn't be able to take that step back and go back into it. It's either they keep going and crash, or they keep going, or like, let's say they stop and they never go back.
I did have moments where I was considering stopping, second guessing myself. Yeah. But like I said before, music is my life. Like I can never stop. Like this is what I eat, sleep, breathe.
Like you always say when people have like a twinkle talking about something, like you talking about music, you have like that twinkle in your eye, like in your face, like in your smile.
Yeah.
What on the days that you felt like quitting, like now that you've made it past, you decided to do this album, on the days you felt like quitting, what kept you going?
That's such a tough question to answer. I think it's really just like the passion that music, that I have for music, and what it gives to me as an outlet, because it's really been an outlet for me to get my traumas and stresses out. It's like my bliss, like just forgetting about everything, playing on the piano. It helps me get away from the world. So yeah, it definitely was like my outlet to get everything out. And it really helped me with the anxiety and the ADHD and just all of my stress.
It's like therapy.
It's therapy. That's a great way to put it.
I don't say this often, but I can feel the passion for this music. Like when you speak, I feel it. Yeah. I genuinely, honestly feel it.
Nice, man.
And when you listen to music, and we've said this on the pod, and we've said this a million times, the purpose of music is to make you feel. You
Yeah.
should, when you listen to something, you should feel, whether it's happy, sad, excitement, whether it just brings you joy because it's a fun fucking song. Like some songs have no real purpose. They're just made to sing along and to bring a smile to your face.
Exactly.
But the way you're talking about this music and this evolution, literally, like I feel right now. I don't know what, but I'm just like, I have joy in me. I'm like proud of you as a friend. Like I have so much emotion.
I don't know why this is the first emotion that came to my head, but I feel gratitude.
Oh,
That's a good one. That's a good feeling.
But I literally just like, I was just feeling that. I don't know why.
That's
but
so
just
sweet.
like after this conversation. But I was gonna ask you, what's been like your favorite moment in music that you've done, pre-break and then post-break?
Okay, pre-break. That's
It could be
really
anything.
good
It could be like
question.
a 6 studio session. It could be a show. It could be even like.
I mean, some shows that I played were so much fun. Like opening for Porter Robinson at it was Cobra London. Yeah. That was a party.
You did some good shows in Guelph too.
Yeah, we played some 6 shows in Guelph, and then here in Toronto, Marion, Dennis Coyu. There was a handful of people that I played with, and the energy of people partying. Things have changed so much now. Cell phones were not taking over everybody's faces like they are now. So they were really in the moment, really partying, really having like a good time. It's different now.
Well, here's the best example. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the club photographer was a thing.
Oh yeah.
Like you made sure to get your photo with the club photographer. You made
had-
sure
like
to get
everybody,
that little card.
Yeah.
Because there was no QR code. So, the Facebook page, that's what it'll be tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and I'm going to look on that Facebook page tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because our cell phones didn't take high quality photos.
Well, I was gonna say even I feel like less than that. Like maybe like I feel like COVID really just fucks up my years because it's been 4 years now.
4.5.
4.5. Wow.
It feels
But,
like it was just like
it was like 2 years,
2 years
prior to
ago.
COVID,
Yeah.
which was what 2018. Like there were still club pictures.
Yeah.
Like they were still a thing.
But like you gotta remember when we go back.
Well, that's you guys are even more, but like
Yeah.
all through university, everything it was all like go online, see after your night out. What the
Yeah.
fuck did the photographer take of you?
Was it like club catchers? Was that one
There's
of
so
them?
many good ones, like Toronto Nightlife or something.
Yeah.
There's one too. There's
Oh man.
Chris, this is completely off topic, but we're gonna
Sure.
get to Red Lobster soon. If you didn't do music, what would you do?
Oof. There's a few things that I wanted to do as like a plan B, plan C.
It's a side quest.
Side quest. One thing was architecture. That was one thing. Like before I decided, when I was 16 years old, like I'm gonna do this for sure. Yeah, I was thinking about architecture like as at the time, or maybe like going into culinary arts, that kind of stuff. I've always been
wow.
really good in the kitchen, you know, cooking all types of things.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I feel like they're both like as much like architecture has like a lot of like science behind it too, but they're both very like artistic.
Yeah, they're still
It's,
in
like,
art.
They're still in the like the art form.
Exactly.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, the Red Lobster side quest.
Sure.
What? Like, did you make a jingle? Was it like a Christmas song? Like,
Okay, but like how'd they pay you? Aren't they bankrupt?
Well, this is back like
this-
years ago.
this is when the
This is
the
not a
bread
recent
biscuits
one.
were fucking making
Yeah.
bank.
The more recent one was like maybe Trident or something, which is another cool project that I worked on.
We're Excel here. We're Excel here. We're Excel.
Okay,
here.
okay,
We can't
Excel,
talk. We can't talk.
Excel.
I'm kidding. But no. Okay, Red Lobster. What like? Do they just email your like agent or email you and be like, hey, we need a song? Like, how does it? What is the process like for Red Lobster?
So there's an agency that I work with, and the partners at the company, they're really good friends of mine, down in Los Angeles. So this would have been back in like maybe 2017. One of the partners was like, hey, do you want to come to LA and like stay for a few months and learn the ins and outs on the commercial side of stuff? And I was like, absolutely.
Fuck yeah.
So like I worked on all types of ads from like Huawei to Porsche to it was like such a huge list. It wasn't anything that I was going to get paid for unless I like won something, which was like as a newbie in that world, maybe not going to happen right away. But I got all the experience I could, and even worked on like video game score with
That's fucking cool.
It's been really, really cool. So like I said, that really expanded my palette because you're not making the same type of music there as an artist.
No.
Yeah, but at the
Right.
same time, you learned about the like the production behind it the proper way. You had the background from your education and your experience that you could step into something like this and pick it up pretty quickly. Whereas
Yeah.
a normal DJ couldn't.
Oh yeah, it would take them way too long to figure things out.
Well, it's just like look at what Daft Punk did with Tron.
Mhm.
Like that's like a great example of
Exactly.
you know EDM like mega superstars coming over and doing the score for what became like one of the biggest movies of the year.
Yeah, that's a goal of mine for sure, is to do like a movie score, even get some stuff more on like television as opposed to just like ads. But I mean, advertising, that's kind of king, right?
Oh, fuck yeah, that's how you get paid.
That's how people get paid.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. What would you tell? What's one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
Don't stress so much. Take it easy. Take a breather. You got this. You know. Yeah, I feel like the skills have always been there. It's just like believing in myself, you know, and not letting other people who might be, you know, jealous or hating to let their words get to you.
Danny, over to you too. What's one thing you would tell your younger self? We haven't talked, like me and you haven't asked each other this question in a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like I always like it was confidence, like very similar. Like that was always one thing. I always like came across as a very confident person, but I was very insecure, and I still am sometimes, a lot of times. But it's like something I just always work on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate. I had people who would tell me that they heard from other people that they thought I was conceited or a little too cocky, when it was really just like trying to believe in myself as much as possible. Because if you don't, like,
Who will?
In this industry, it's nearly impossible to have like the top success, right? So you really have to believe in yourself almost in a crazy amount. Otherwise, you're not going to get close, right?
Well, I saw I don't know if it was a TikTok or like an Instagram post or something. It was just like, at first when you have no success, like, and you're doing it, people are calling you crazy. Then they're asking you where you got the inspiration. Then they're asking you who helped you. Then they're asking you how you did it.
Yeah.
It's just like when you made it there, then they're like, oh, how'd you? But at the beginning when you're trying, it's like,
Yeah.
you're like,
What's this guy doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right? And like I've seen it again. This is different, but like even on like TikTok, I'm fucking 34 years old and I make TikToks. And when I first started, people were like, "What the fuck? Like you have a day job, like go to work like the rest of us." Well, now like I get paid, and it's like a lot.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, okay, wait. So how'd you get those followers? How'd you do this? Like how? Well, oh, so now you want
to
my
ask.
advice. Now you want. But when I was, making the cringy fucking TikToks for the last 2-3 years, you were making fun of me and laughing. Now it's like, okay, now you see the big, Petro-Canada, Starbucks, DoorDash. You see the big, the big payments, and now you're like, oh, well, now I want to do this. Well, it's not easy to get there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's always so funny when you see that, right? Like
it's so funny. People saying like, oh, Chris doing his little DJing, and then suddenly they're seeing me up on stage in front of over 1,000 people, and they're like, oh, he's DJing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's different because again, when we were kids, it was.
Can I come backstage?
Yeah.
You know what? So many people trying that. It was hilarious. It's like, I think we're good.
Oh, we're full. Sorry.
Yeah, there's only so much room.
Yeah, and then it's also you get like the people that hit you up just when they see you doing something like cool, right? Like,
Yeah.
People forget that, like,
I've always been doing it, but only now that you see the bigger projects, do you want to be a part of things? But that's kind of how it goes, right?
Danny, I want to ask one of our favorite questions, but I feel like I'll let you ask this. I've been talking a lot lately. All right, I'll ask it. What's one of your dream venues you'd love to play at?
Oh.
I gave you a chance.
You didn't even whatever.
Sorry, is it not one of our favorite questions to ask musicians?
Yeah, it is.
There's 2 questions we ask almost every single musician. I'll let you ask the second one.
I know the second one.
Okay. What's your dream venue you'd love to play at?
What I'll say is dream venue or like show.
Yeah, either one.
Something like EDC Las Vegas,
Yeah,
I think
Oh,
would be.
cool.
Sick.
I went there way back and it was mind blowing, and I was just like, yeah, this is life.
Okay, this is not our second favorite question, but what's your biggest who's been your biggest inspiration in the music industry?
When I was younger, Tiesto was like the early days, like what got me
Yeah,
into.
for strings or whatever. Like that's the fucking.
just
like
be. I remember I got to see him at the Rico Coliseum when it was still called the Rico.
What's it called now?
Isn't it the Coca-Cola?
Coliseum. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I got to see him play there, and he played his classics, which is not something you're ever hearing from him nowadays. And yeah, like I have chills thinking about it because it's just like, yeah, it took me to another place.
Now he plays like new mashups and remixes like 24/7.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I see a video.
Like we're talking Tiesto right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see a video.
Because he was like trance back in the day. Now it's like house.
Now it's completely
EDM.
different. But now,
Yeah.
I see videos of like different DJs sharing Tiesto playing their song, but like so many different DJs. So it's like I think every week he's playing like 20 different songs.
I think it's new songs every time. But even like what he did with that Man in Finance, like he's taking all these
Yeah.
TikTok trends and he's just basically making them bigger.
Yeah.
Putting his spin on it.
He
He did an actual
Guetta
collab
did
with
the
her,
actual
but he
collab,
initially had just taken the song and done something.
Which artist didn't hop on that trend? That was like
Everyone
such a big
did.
thing.
But that's the thing. All the artists now are basically going to the TikTok, seeing what the trends are, and making something into it, and it's working.
I mean, that's social media.
But
It
I'm
helps,
also
yeah.
just like Tiesto's older, like
Yeah.
old. Like,
Even Guetta.
he's still fucking
like,
going.
Yeah.
Well,
And
'cause
like
you got to remember that
weekly.
Yeah, but EDM is not like
on the daily,
It's not
pretty much.
DJs anymore. It's not like what it was 10, 20 years ago. Now DJs are like mainstream artists.
Okay, well, did you see? You know James Hype?
Yeah.
So he was like very active on TikTok, and he posted that he got asked to do a show. It was at a festival. It was in London, and they basically said, "Oh, you have to have like the set done beforehand, whatever."
A
And he goes,
pre-recorded set.
pre-recorded set. And he goes,
Oh.
I don't do pre-recorded, but all the other DJs there and everyone else everything was pre-recorded.
Yeah.
He basically just let it out that everything was pre-recorded, and he basically said, "Yeah, sorry guys, I'm not playing today." An hour before the show, he backed up out of the show because they wouldn't let him do it live.
Damn.
I'm like, that is like that's cool.
Well, do you remember? Was it maybe like 5 years ago? Swedish House Mafia had like one of the behind the DJ sets, like behind the DJ's booth camera got released. And it basically showed them doing fuck all the last
They weren't
like,
doing
20
anything?
minutes. They
Damn.
were just like bouncing around, like turning a couple out, but they weren't
Yeah, making it
actually
look
DJing.
like
Yeah. And I think Steve Angelo came in and goes, when you've got $1 million worth of pyro, fireworks, this
Exactly.
and that, you're literally not allowed to do it live.
Yeah, I was gonna
Because
say
it's just there's risk. Like what if the pyro goes off at the wrong time and someone's there?
there's way too much risk.
And you want the lights to match the fireworks, to match the fire, to match the CO2, to match the graphics on the screen. You want everything to align.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's so you see both
Well,
sides.
it's more
of
of
it.
it's a
like
show.
when okay, I'm going to see Kygo. We're going to see Kygo right in Toronto. If you think that's not going to be a pre-recorded set, you're in a different planet.
Especially if there's pyro
Especially 'cause
and
you remember
video
they got-
effects
they
and
got video effects,
lighting.
they got singers
Everything
come
needs
out.
to hit each cue point perfectly so that moment is created, and you're developing core moments for a lot of people sometimes, right?
So yeah, maybe the effects on the knobs, and I don't know what they do. You obviously do, but like all those little knobs might be a little different. But the soundtrack is the soundtrack. Like even when we went to see Loud Luxury once, me and George, like the last like 8 minutes, because again, it's all aligned with the thing. It was basically body, but just pre-recorded, kind of, right? So a lot of people do it. It's part of the show. And it's just like
that's the thing. It's a show too.
yeah, well,
right?
when artists come on, if you don't think an artist has a pre-recorded set list, all the artists have pre-recorded set lists. Maybe the entourage or the encore might be different. But with DJs, it's they're not DJs; they're performers now, right? So I do laugh when you see like producers or DJs at like award shows because it's just like you literally just like those ones. Okay, that's
What do you mean?
You know, when you have a DJ that's at an award show playing their song, like let's say. Okay, I'll use Loud Luxury as like performing body at the Junos or something.
Okay.
Like
I haven't seen that.
So again, when sometimes they'll bring their singers out, the person singing the song.
Yeah, there's usually like singers and stuff that come
but
out.
sometimes like you see it on Jimmy Fallon. You'll have whatever the David Guetta's performing tonight. It's like
I mean it's not as easy as a DJ to perform
Because
for something like that.
It's harder to do that.
It's not like you're singing
John
live.
Summit coming out and being like,
John Summit can come. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 songs. Here are the 2 songs. Like when you're a DJ, like you have to like bring the hype, but it's in like a small intimate show.
and you don't have like the people to this. To
That's
that.
maybe where somebody like Fred again.
Fred
again,
is completely different.
or James Hype comes into play because they're doing a lot more active stuff. So there's more of a performance involved.
Yeah.
Fred
Right.
again I've seen Fred again twice now.
Yeah.
I think twice now.
I've only seen him once. So
Maybe once.
I still gotta go see him.
Well, he's coming October 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
3rd
I'm
and
going.
4th. Scotia
literally,
Arena.
I forgot the pre-sale and I was like, "Fuck!" Like now, I need to go.
It's what he does is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like that.
So when we went to his show, it was at History.
Okay.
And like it was one of those, we had tickets. We were both like, "Hey, we're not drinking tonight. Let's drive over." Didn't really think much of
We didn't even know who the fuck he was.
No.
I got tickets like the morning of, and
Literally, we're
I was
like,
like,
"Hey,
"Danny, you
let's
want to
go."
go?" Like,
we get there. Not only do we see everyone we fucking know, but then we literally watch him. We look at each other. We're like, "What the fuck?" Like,
he's fucking
this
sick.
is insane.
Wow.
So good. And it was a great show.
Yeah.
Yeah, his music is incredible, and his edits. He's taking like TikToks and like turning them into tracks
Live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Danny, ask our favorite question because I want to ask it. The other one.
Who is your dream artist to collab with?
Why are you saying that so fucking weird? Like, ask the fucking who's like, what's an artist you like your dream artist? To collab?
Dream artist to collab with.
Whether like
Who's your
writing or like
dream artist
or like
to collab
singing,
with?
like it could be like you producing, it could be whatever you want.
Dead or alive?
Oh man, now you just open things up even more.
Yeah, it's dead or alive.
I think we're gonna have to come back to that because I need a moment to think because there's a whole list of names that are just like.
I don't think we've ever asked
Coming.
you.
Me?
Yeah.
If I was a musician?
Yeah. Come on.
Honestly,
Don't be generic.
I'd probably say MJ.
So that's one that's coming up on my
Like,
list.
MJ just, I don't know. Like again, I don't even know what I would be doing.
I thought he was gonna say Taylor Swift. So
Oh, no.
we're already doing better here.
So we had an episode maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, and the guy put together a whole band.
Yeah.
We're just like, what the fuck? We've asked a lot of people this question. No one's ever put together a band, so that was crazy.
Oh shit.
But Danny, who would yours be?
Kygo.
Kygo? And you said I was gonna say something generic like Taylor Swift, and you say fuck.
Kygo. Kygo's great.
Kygo is great.
Rufus. Actually, prank. Andrea Bocelli. Done.
Ooh.
Game over.
I think okay, so like MJ definitely comes up on the list. Same birthday, so you know I always think about MJ.
He's just like it's the
King of
talent,
Pop. Like
yeah.
come on, yeah, iconic. The soul, everything behind it, and then obviously like Tiesto. You know, being somebody that I grew up listening to forever would be another one that would come up.
He was actually he was playing Cabana like a year ago or 2 years ago now maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at Sophia and
Bring the mic close to your mouth.
I was talking like this.
This is what you were doing.
No,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's
I was
cozy.
at
It's cozy.
we were at Sophia in Yorkville. And we're just
Okay.
eating dinner for my friend's birthday dinner. One of my friends is obsessed with Tiesto,
Mhm.
and all you see is like these big-bodied men walking by us. And then you just see Tiesto like rolling in. Sophia freaked the fuck out. And we have this video of us just sitting down, and he's just like right behind us walking. He's like the slowest thing ever, but it was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, useless story.
Yeah, no, Tiesto
But it was
would be
just like
cool.
one of those like we loved him.
I feel like everybody that's ever met Tiesto has like good things to say about him too.
Yeah, I haven't met him. I've been like in the vicinity.
Yeah, I've met him once, like shook his hand once with I forget what show it was. A show in Toronto, with, I think with Loud Luxury. I was just like in the green room. And
Yeah.
just like, oh hey man, nice to meet you, Ricky.
Nice.
And he's like,
yeah.
oh, nice to meet you. I was like, cool. Set.
Yeah, he always seems like such a good guy, good vibes. And like I remember seeing there's a video on YouTube somewhere of him playing like his first big show. And then when he finished his set, like he goes backstage and he's just like crying and hugging his manager and like his team. And it's just so wholesome, you know, and you realize like he loves what he does. When you see stuff like that.
It's like him, Armin van Buuren, David Guetta. Like those are the guys that made EDM.
Oh, yeah.
Like think about EDM 20 years ago. Like
It was a completely different scene. They've paved the way for
the
all of us
Kygos,
artists
or
now.
Then you had Avicii that paved the way for like EDM to come into top 40.
Yes.
You know, what was it? With the song with Aloe Black. It was like half country, half EDM almost. Wake Me Up.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That transformed EDM.
It really did.
You know, you had the Chainsmokers that did that had another big song that really changed it. You had Dubs that had Tsunami that
Yes.
made EDM into sports. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Tsunami is that you hear it at every major college football stadium, like all over the States.
Yes.
You know, you've got those mega. You got a song like Body that in Canada that did Loud Luxury Body did crazy thing. Fucking Dead Mouse. We always forget about him too, just because he flies on the radar. Like you had some of these guys that paved the way for the new age, and without some of those older songs, the Bodies don't happen, the Kygos don't happen, the Rufus the Souls don't happen, the Chris Ramoses don't happen, right?
Exactly. Even Swedish House Mafia,
Swedish House
they.
Mafia.
Yeah.
And those three guys already had such incredible careers going prior, and they were just like, you know what, let's make this mega.
They were big. They
trio.
came together, became even bigger. They split up. We're still big. They came back together to take over the world.
Yeah, and they took over. Like, it was nuts.
They could do no wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, who's someone you wouldn't want to work with in the EDM space?
That's a tough one. Don't even answer that. It's like, yeah, just shoot yourself in the foot here.
Yeah.
Publicly. Come on. Fine. Who's someone that you dislike that you know personally?
I'm not saying personally. He doesn't know them personally.
You're in the same industry.
Fine. Sorry. Loaded question. Would have been fun if you answered.
Yeah.
You never know.
What are some goals for the rest of the year?
So right now it's just continue pushing the album, step up my content game. I think that's really my next step. I've got already a team of videographers that are going to come in and help me with, filming a bunch of different things, how I made certain tracks on the album, some cool techniques. I mean, I have a lot of information to share. So why not, put it out there finally and stop holding myself back. Besides that is expand my team. I do want to find some management. So I like doing everything myself. It's just really taking up way too much time. Man. And for me to get into live and playing live shows, it's going to be impossible to manage all of that, building up the music library, all of that stuff at the same time as being the artist and the manager and
the tour manager eventually. Like
exactly, as things progress. Yeah,
it's fucking tough, man. It's so tough, especially because you're at that stage where you've done a lot of that. Mm-hmm. You took a break, so I'm not saying you're starting from scratch again, but in many ways it feels like you are.
It's fresh. Yeah. It's definitely starting fresh. I've got a lot of experience. So I know some do's and don'ts.
Yeah, and you have a following too. It's not like you're starting from zero either, right?
Exactly. So now it's just, continue pushing on. And then, really some new music, some more club forward stuff I think is going to be in the future, because this album was a lot more kind of a bit more commercial, right? Very vocal forward.
Yeah, more radio.
More radio, exactly. Which I love, but I also love the club side. So I think I definitely need to play.
See, I fuck with this because I'm very radio. Like, I'm a big, main room house, big room. Like,
he's a big vocal guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I need vocal. I just like, especially when it comes to EDM, I love singing along.
Exactly.
If I've got my hands in there and I'm like jumping up and down, singing the words, I'm like, yeah.
It's so much fun. And being on the other end of it and hearing everybody singing, it's incredible. Like, chills, honestly. Yeah.
I can imagine that. I always said, I'm like, fuck, I wish I had musical talent. Every time we have a musician on the pod, I'm always like, I wish I had talent.
I'm going to get you guys to come in the studio.
But Chris, I am so musically challenged. You have no idea, man.
I'm just as bad.
Yeah, Danny's probably a little bit better because you have some artistic skills. You could dance, right? So
okay.
No, but I would really I think that's one thing I wish maybe after my next learning thing would be learn how to use a computer and actually produce something. Okay. That'd be really cool.
That's what you want to do?
Post CPA, I'll learn that on the side.
Oh, good for you.
Do it.
Well, because I feel like I'm good with computers and I feel like I could actually hear it. I don't know. I feel like I could do it.
I mean, hearing you talk about the audio stuff earlier, it seems like you'll pick it up.
Yeah, I can pick it up.
Yeah.
I'm convincing myself.
I would love to see you fucking do this.
Okay.
I would really love to.
All right.
Well, this is my next side project.
I hope quest. This is your next side quest. Yeah, I hope this really is next. I would love to see you DJ. Produce a song and DJ. I would love to fucking see it.
Do it. I'll help
you. You can't. I was just gonna say you can't have a ghost.
Okay.
Can't have a ghostwriter.
No, I'm not gonna ghost.
So many producer
friends.
Ghost.
Pointers.
They'll help me.
They'll help you.
No, but
Danny's gonna put together shit, send it to you, take your revision, send it to the next person, and then eventually you got 10 different ghost producers, and you got a banger of a hit.
Yeah.
No, I was actually joking around with Becca the other day because John Summit was an accountant. I'm an accountant.
Okay.
I'm him. I'm John Summit.
There we go.
There's a group, me and Becca in our chat the other day was literally Becca, I'm John Summit. And she goes, yeah, you are. I was like, wow, thank you.
Let's go.
That's what we talk about.
How many accountants are there in North America? What, 500,000?
None are as cool as us. And I'm putting me in the same category.
There's definitely a lot more cool accountants than you, for sure.
Oh, shit.
For sure.
Shots fired.
For sure. John Summit being one of them.
Well,
I mean, John's been killing it.
He has.
yeah.
He's doing
Obsessed.
great.
Well, who's someone right now that you think is doing really well? Like that you're like this. He's doing exactly what I want to do.
Yeah, John Summit's actually a great example, and his stuff being a lot more musical and having a lot of vocal driven tracks. Like, yeah, he's definitely somebody that I could compare a lot of my stuff with.
Have either of you listened to his interview with Alex Earl?
Yes.
So I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw some clips and he talks about like his anxiety behind shows too, and like how nobody really
Knows
everyone
no one really knows who he is.
Yeah.
And it's more just like it's his music, and it's true. He hasn't really been in the spotlight media wise, other than
the odds and ends here and there.
like the here and there, the podcast he's doing with friends.
Mm-hmm.
But like learning about him, he's so well spoken. Did you not like notice that in the episode?
I only
thought,
saw
like, it
2 or
was-
3
I
clips.
saw some clips.
Well,
Yeah.
so those are the most 3 important things. Other than that, I think it was like a bunch of fluff. Like they were just like talking bullshit.
Okay.
But so well spoken. And like I think it was like refreshing because you don't hear that side of him often.
Yeah.
Well, you just, and I mean this in a nice way, with a lot of DJs and producers, all you see is the nightlife, and then you think drinking, drugs, parties.
Yeah.
Whereas like
They all
there's so
come
many
hand in hand. So
there's so many producers and DJs that don't even drink anymore because
Well,
it's like it gets out of hand.
John Summit.
We had Nicolina on, and she says like she doesn't even drink, so she's like an up and coming DJ in the city,
Okay.
and she doesn't drink at a lot of her shows.
Yeah.
Because she's like, if it's such a slippery slope where she's a full-time DJ playing 4 to 5 nights a week, like be careful.
That's what I used to do actually when I had my residencies. It got to the point where I would just give the alcohol that the club's giving me to my friends.
Your friends.
Because I wanted to be able to just drive home and just relax that
And
night.
be normal.
Well, so
And
John
just be
Summit came
normal.
out in an interview recently that he's never done a show sober except for one in Tulum.
Oh,
So
wow.
every single show, he has half a bottle of Don Julio.
Oh, that's going to catch up to you.
1942.
Damn.
He's 30. That's a lot.
Yeah, fucking right.
And he's playing a lot.
And he's playing a lot. That's the thing. If it's like...
And it's not like, and it's like him even too. Like he was just in like Europe right now playing. So he played in Mykonos, but then he like did random sets because he's there. People were like, oh, he's in town. He did a 6-hour set, 3-hour set at, what's that place? 5 a.m. in Mykonos. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Irrelevant. But still half a bottle even for a basic show.
Even just like the standing and like the bobbing of your body when you're DJing and all the little movements, it does actually add up. Like my back used to hurt after DJing.
Bro, turn your Apple Watch on. Like, think about how many steps you're probably.
Oh, I can. You know what? Yeah, that's a great idea.
Should. You need a back brace underneath your shirt.
Yeah, exactly. I used to get these like insoles for my shoes that were like back support.
Tell me you're
Just
old.
to
Without
help.
telling me you're old.
Yeah, but you gotta do the little things. The little
No, this
things
is when I was
help.
younger. I was like in my 20s and I was already starting to feel it.
Tesla's probably got a massage pre and post set.
Oh, yeah.
He's fine.
It's got the touring masseuse.
Yeah, you got that. Okay, so on my rider, I need a masseuse before and after.
Yeah.
I know, that's crazy. What else you working on? You got any? What are the side quests right now?
Okay, so one of the other side quests is this like LED artwork project that I'm working on. That's like
Okay.
another side quest. I actually brought it with me, so I'll probably show you guys afterwards. But-
What is it though? Like,
Imagine like a piece of art, like the artwork for my album, for example, printed onto this transparent acrylic, but not like it's opaque, right? And LEDs behind it. And the artwork is printed like in such a high def, high quality that like it's something that you would put in a gallery,
okay.
you know. And there's like a clear acrylic border around it. I'll show it to you guys after. It's
Yeah.
like I'm not fully showing it to the public just yet, but it's gonna come out very, very soon.
Well,
The
that's
final
exciting.
prototype's being done.
I did
like,
not
as we
expect you
speak.
to say this.
Same. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, well, like my record label, I'm working on that too.
Oh
Like,
yeah, there's stuff
like,
with the
I was
label
thinking
too.
more, yeah, but this fucking okay. Light
I
up
like to
art.
do a lot of different things. I'm
Oh, we
very
fucking know,
hands on.
We get it. We get it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been like a side thing because what inspired that idea was in the studio, for the new studio that I just finished building, there was this open area in the wall that I was going to put up picture frames, but I thought everybody kind of puts up these basic picture frames from IKEA, you know, let's change it up a little bit. And I have some friends that have an acrylic and printing company. So spoke with them, we kind of teamed up together and we put this product together. It's going to be cool.
I'm
And it's-
excited to see it. That's actually really cool.
yeah, it literally looks like something you would put in an art gallery. which is
fucking
pretty
love
sweet.
this.
Yeah, like the quality is so high quality. Yeah, I
And so
can't
this
wait
is in
till
the
it's
new
done.
studio. You're putting this
It's-
up in the new studio.
So yeah, I'm building it to put in the new studio. I'm gonna have 8 of them in the studio, and what's cool is the lighting in the studio is set up to be literally like a club, and those are gonna be synced to the lighting that's on the top, so that when I start doing the content of like DJing and whatnot in the studio, I'm gonna have these like little parties in there, and the lights of the artwork are gonna flash along with everything. Yeah.
Unreal.
It's gonna be pretty sick. And I have a buddy of mine who does like pyro and lighting for like some of the biggest shows out there. So he's gonna kind of help me potentially elevate things even further.
I fucking love that for you, Chris.
Yeah,
I was not expecting that one.
definitely
That's a good side quest.
well, like,
Yeah.
it's also this cool side quest that ties into your other side quest.
Yeah,
Like you're bringing it into like the studio, and then like now you're also thinking content and
Yeah.
all that kind of.
it all ties
literally
in
all
together
ties
at the end of the day. But this is something that like could potentially be a product that people might want
Yeah.
as well. So we'll see how that goes. I still have to figure out like a name for it and all that. You know, that's gonna be a whole.
That's one of those
other
things
thing.
you wake up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Got the name. Write
Got
it
the
down on
name.
my phone. Boom.
Yep. Back to sleep.
So I'm
Absolutely.
gonna, because we are nearing that point, we're gonna wrap up. What are some goals you have for this year? Obviously, the album is the biggest. You know, that's the main focus. But like, do you have like in terms of goals? Do you have any like set ones where you're like, I want the album to do X amount, or I want to play this amount of shows, or this? Like, are you set like that, or is it more
Yeah.
just I want to put out the album, make sure I keep pushing it as hard as I can?
So it's been a bit of both. At first, it was starting like, let's put the album out, let's get things moving. But there's also like, I want to get back into live. It's been years since I've played a live show. And it looks like in September, I'm going to be playing a show. I'll let you guys know pretty
Fuck
soon
yeah.
where it's going to be. We're just finalizing the details. But you might know some of the owners. It's on King Street, and it'll be fun. It's going to be a sick event. I'm trying to see if I can bring in some lighting from one of my friends to elevate the experience as well. So it's not just your average night in this venue. And yeah, then from there, all right, on to the next show. I definitely want to play a few shows this year, really step back into things, and the next year, like, take off.
I love that. I can
Yeah.
see you doing it again. Because again, when we were when we were in our 20s, I remember it.
I mean,
right?
we were kids. Let's
Fuck, from where we are now, we were definitely kids.
Yeah.
But it's always so much fun catching up with like old pals, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, we literally haven't seen each other in a decade probably.
Yeah.
Unless we ran into each other on the street one day randomly, or like. at a
yeah,
mall
hey,
or
what's
something.
up? How's it going?
Yeah,
But like a
fucking
full
pass
proper
it.
catch up like this.
Well, that's what we always say. Like, this is one of the best parts about the podcast is that when you get someone's undivided attention for an hour, where it's like
Exactly.
you're doing nothing else but talking to us for an hour. It doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
Like, even with my friends, like even going on walks and shit, like everyone grabs their phone, or you end up walking in to go get a bite to eat and this and that. Like, you never really get anybody's undivided attention anymore.
Do you understand why sometimes where I say put your phone down?
Danny will look at me and say, put your phone down, and 2 seconds later she'll pick up hers. Danny's the type that we get in the car together, she fucking calls somebody.
Okay, I
It
open up a
seems like-
can of worms.
Yeah,
I open up a
that-
can of worms.
She literally,
No.
I'll be in her car.
she clearly triggered
No,
something here.
I'll be in her car. I'll be in her car. She'll literally call someone on the fucking speaker on the car. So I can't do anything else now because she's on speaker on the car.
That was
Okay.
once, and
How many times have I been in your car in the last 6 months? Twice. So you do it 50% of the time. Literally, and every time you've told me to get off my phone, within 5 minutes, you've been on yours. So yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, have you seen this whole thing about clubs trying to stop people from using their phones?
Well, you see,
it's happening.
Stitch, the place below Silent H. So Silent
Aitch.
Is it called H?
Yeah.
That's what it's called. I thought it was. Okay, H. Yeah. So they have like little stickers that they use to cover the iPhone,
Yeah.
and because I see them like ripped off and thrown all over King West now
Yeah.
on my walks. Yeah. But I like the idea. It's just it's tough, right? Because one side you don't want people on their phones, you want them to enjoy the experience, but on the other side, that's how you get promotion and that's how you get people
yeah,
inside.
but
It's
it's
a
also
tough-
so nice being in like somewhere without a phone, because then once you don't have the option to have a camera, I feel like people start putting their phones down more, and then they don't take them out, and then like people are just in the moment having fun.
Well, like in Ibiza, I think they're like telling people no phones. So I don't know.
I know I saw Coldplay did it for one song. They said, guys, everyone put your phone down. We've got a full camera crew. I'll release the footage. Please, everyone put your phone down just for this one song. The footage will go live tomorrow of this. I promise. It'll be amazing. But let's all put our phones down. And everyone has those like light up bracelets and like lift your light up bracelets.
Yeah,
and
it's
like cool.
They created a whole moment with it. I definitely agree with like everybody trying to be off their phone as much as possible. To get rid of it completely, it's a tough balance because like as the artist, you want people to be in the moment, enjoying the music that you're playing because you feed off of their energy, and that's how you kind of create this journey throughout the night. But at the same time, content is king too, and you need that promotion and people posting about you. It's free promotion.
There's so many times where I'm like on like TikTok or something and someone posts a clip of a DJ at some sort of event and it's like them going and just like seeing the vibe and the energy off that DJ. I was like, holy shit, I'm obsessed. Now I'm following the DJ. Yeah. So it's like the free content that nothing's free.
I'm going to New York in like 3 weeks specifically because of a video I saw on TikTok.
Oh, there you go.
Like there's this party called the Azure. It's in Brooklyn. And it looks like a fucking vibe. Yeah. And my buddy sent me a video. He goes, this looks like your vibe. I'm like, that is 1,000,000% my vibe. Yeah. And then now that he sent it to me, now I keep seeing it. Now I keep sending it to him. We keep sending it back and forth. We said, fuck it, let's go. So we just booked a trip to New York to go see this fucking party that we saw on TikTok.
So it showcases
and I'm 34 years old. I'm not even a fucking kid anymore. Like I'm 34. I'm a grown ass man.
Yeah, but now we've got the money to go and do these things.
Now we got a little bit of cash. Now we got a little bit of disposable income. It's not like mom, dad, I need some money so I can go do this TikTok thing. It's like,
now it's like, oh, there's this guy playing in New York that I want to see. Okay, I can go do that.
Yeah, I get fucked. Super slope though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You need to balance things for sure.
Chris, this was a blast. I really enjoyed this catch up, man. This was much needed.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me.
No, thank you for coming. If people want to find out more about the album, if people want to see more about you, what you're doing, the shows, music, where can they go? How can they find you?
So my tag is Chris Ramos Live, and you search that online, you'll find me anywhere. My website, Instagram, TikTok, everything, all that good stuff.
Good, man. I appreciate you. We wish you all the best on the obviously the continuing of the release of the album, the new shows coming out, and me and Danny and I will definitely come check you out. And I'm glad we got to do this, man. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
And if you made it to the end of this, guys, we appreciate you. Give Chris a follow, give Danny a follow, give myself a follow, and we will